Days of rage and days of hope, days of claiming dignity in a world that fostered fear, days of daring to be free. So today we offer thanks for the ones who raised a din, challenging a world of hate. 3 nights at the Stonewall Inn. Years of joy and years of pain, building up communities, claiming power, growing strong, care and courage face disease. Now today we offer thanks for the ones who struggled on, Stonewall's children, everyone, dead and living, here and gone. Lives of pride and lives of love, trans and lesbian, bi and gay, bringing blessings to the world, glad that we were born this way. All our days we offer thanks for the people we've become, Stonewall's gift to every age, making of this world our home.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Utica. I'm Katie, chair of the membership committee. Whether you are visiting for the first time or have been a member for many years, you are welcome here. Whatever faiths you have known, if any, you are welcome here. Whoever you are and whomever you love, you are welcome here. We are invited to bring our whole selves to this worship service, our doubts as well as our convictions, the pain and joy we have known, our longing for connection and understanding. Every part of you is welcome here. If you are signing in today for the first time, we are glad you have joined us and hope you will stay for informal conversation and breakout groups after the service. We do have an announcement or two today, and I'm going to pass the torch on to Carol Gable for that so she can give us an update.
Good morning. I was just asked to let people know about some banners that the church ordered after, I think it was the last board meeting in June. We ordered a 3x5 foot rainbow flag and a 3x5 foot Black Lives Matter flag. The rainbow flag came in right away. For obvious reason, the Black Lives Matter flags are back ordered because there's so many people wanting them. But we put the rainbow flag up several weeks ago on the church on the Higbee Road side. And I think it was July 4th, around that date, that people noticed it had been ripped down or taken down. And so we ordered a new one and contacted the police and filed the police report. And the Black Lives Matter flag came in a couple days ago, and several of us gathered at the church and put that up. And the rainbow flag, the second one, will be here next week, where we'll be putting that up as well.
All right, thank you, Carol. So now let us open our hearts and minds to the experience of community and the wisdom of love.
Dona nobis pacem pacem, dona nobis 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 pacem.
Our call to worship are the words written by Hannah Roberts Villeneuve. The title is A Protest and a Party. People sometimes ask, is pride a protest or a party? And the answer is, of course, yes. And why not? Why not rejoice as we resist, dance as we demand change, celebrate as we create community that delights in all of who we are? So bring all of that with you this morning. Bring your policy demands, bring your glitter, bring your Supreme Court broken heart, bring your rainbow socks, bring the emptiness you feel for our siblings gone too soon. Bring your Gloria Estefan remix, bring your tender hope for change. Bring your most garish eyeshadow, bring your spirit tattered and battered by a world that seems insistent on choosing fear and hate. Gather up all these things and bring them here to a place where we don't have to shoulder these burdens or celebrate these joys alone. Come, let us worship together. Our hymn is titled Answering the Call of Love.
We are answering the call of kindle a flame we trust will lead us forward as we travel into unknown lands where the question, shall I ever get there, resounds, a clear, pure note in every silence.
Hi everybody, welcome to Together Time. I have a really great book for you today. It's called Intersection Allies, We Make Room for All. And this was written by a few people. It's by Chelsea Johnson, Latoya Council, and Carolyn Choi, with illustrations by Ashley Seal Smith. Intersection Allies. I wish I could share this book with you in person, because there are a couple of neat things in the front and in the back. There is a very long foreword by Dr. Kimberly Crenshaw, and there's another letter to grown-ups. If you want to know more about this, you can email me at religioused@uuuutica.org. But we're going to get right into our story for right now. Witness the lives of a bold group of friends. If one is in need, another defends. Age is one trait that each of them share, but kids' lives are unique, as you'll soon be aware. Each child has a story and their own point of view, filled with passion and power, just like you. My name is Alejandra, but I go by Allie. I use a chair, but it doesn't define me. Instead, it allows me to zip, glide, and play. When I need to get through, friends help make a way. Where there's room for some, we make room for all. Friends can be allies, no matter how small. Hello. I'm Parker. After school every day, Allie's family takes care of us both while we play. My mom works hard to provide for me. Her love's the source of our stability. Not toys or money nor treasures untold. Community care is more precious than gold. Skirts and frills are cute, I suppose, but my superhero cape is more Kate than those bows. Some may be confused that a kid like me can wear what I want and be proud and carefree. My friends defend my choices and place. A bathroom, like all rooms, should be a safe space. My name is Adila, and just like Kate, what I wear inspires endless debate. Some give, some chant, some sing, some pray. My hijab is my choice. You can choose your own way. Do you know what a hijab is? That's her head covering right here. I like that it matches her shirt and her whole outfit. That's very pretty. The clothes that you wear never justify hatred. Clothes can be playful, simple, or sacred. Covered, adorned, or with casual flair. My body's my own. I dress it with care. My name is Nia, and with what's on the news, it's easy to be frightened or sing the blues. For her, for them, for him, and for me, we all deserve to breathe and be free. The color of our skin is no reason to hide. We protest for safety, equality, and pride. Our friends join along in solidarity and love. This is the stuff that allies are made of. Safety also includes our trees and air, the land we've called home, our places of prayer. I am Dakota, and like my ancestors, My tribe and I are water protectors. From profit and power, we stand up to preserve our nations, our cultures, and the respect we deserve. My name is Gloria y tengo 7 años. After school, it's to la fruteria I go. Trabajo cada día junto a mi madre. Vendemos piña dulce y mangos con chile. My language and savvy allow us to thrive. I've got hopes and dreams and skills and drive. Working together makes us both more secure. I'm a daughter, a partner, and an entrepreneur. The Spanish section here says that she goes to the fruit stand to help her mother sell pineapples and mangoes with chili. My name is Heejun, and I was born in Seoul. I moved here when I was 5 years old. I'm part of what's called the 1.5 generation. My parents and I span 2 different nations. Like Gloria, I am a help to my mother by translating for her one word to another. When the landlord tells mom, "You can pay me next Friday," I repeat in Korean, "Omarentu daim yumyore nido duendai." We navigate life in our new home together, because kids have the skills to make every day better. My name is Yuri, and I'm new to this place. Heejung's family welcomed me with love and with grace. Finding refuge meant traveling far from home. I sailed, I flew, I rode, and I roamed. Escaping violence, war, heartache, and intrusion, we came to this nation seeking dreams and inclusion. From near, from far, from here, from there, we're more than our origins. We all deserve care. Race, religion, citizenship, class, and ability. Each of these intersects to form identity. Age, gender, size, and skin color, too, can make living life different for a friend than for you. Barriers and biases are often to blame. We strive to be equal, but not all the same. Life's ups and downs can take many forms, but standing together, we'll rewrite the norms. Where there's room for some, we make room for all. Friends can be allies, no matter how small. And that is the end. So there's a lot in here about what is intersectionality. And there is even a page-by-page discussion that, again, if you want more information about this, you can send me an email at religioused@uuuutica.org, and I can get you all the information on these pages, including here are the authors. Those are their bios. And here is a little reading list for adults. So you can take a good look at those books that'll tell you more about all of the ideas that are in this book. And that is the end. So thank you for joining me for Intersection Allies, We Make Room for All by Chelsea Johnson, LaToya Council, and Carolyn Choi. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Steph, for another great video. We Give by Kristen Collins. We give to remind ourselves how many gifts we have to offer. We give to remember that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. We give because we believe in music and sacred space. We give with the faith that together we have enough. Please remember, if you're keeping a collection at home, or you can estimate what you think you might have put in our plate, to occasionally write a check and label it plate donation in the memo line and send it to the church. And if you're sending in your pledges, you can also send those still to the church and just put pledge in your memo line, and Marilee will make sure that all of these get collected and go to the right spot. Or if it is just that much easier for you, feel free to stop by our PayPal link at the bottom of the page here and on our actual webpage. Now we will practice community candles, which is an opportunity for the congregation to be with one another as we mark notable things happening in our lives. If you'd like to light a candle where you are, please do so, and in frame if you would like. If you'd like to briefly share about a significant event in your life, then you may unmute yourself or type into the chat. If you want me to say something specific or non-specific, you can private message me in the chat. So I'll stop the screen share, and you are welcome to share your joys and concerns. And as always, a final candle is lit for all the joys and sorrows that live in silence within our hearts. And I invite you to continue thinking of the joys and sorrows of others' lives that aren't always shared, as Brenda provides us with the following reading.
In this reading, we want you to take a journey through your mind's eye of what some aspects of your life might have been like if you were a member of the LGBTQ+ community. Or perhaps you are, in which case you may recognize these types of situations. You may experience a variety of feelings as you take this journey. Allow yourself to examine your feelings, but try not to let your feelings distract you from participating in this exercise. Please realize that the intent is not to manipulate your feelings, but to help you understand some of the feelings and experiences that someone in this community might feel. This journey is not universal for all people in these situations, but these themes are somewhat common. Imagine a place you once found sacred and special to you. It could be a local hangout you spent all your time in during childhood, high school, or college. Imagine that during this period of time you were starting to realize your identity included something seen as odd. Maybe you realized you were asexual, or that your gender wasn't what you had been told your whole life. Now imagine the other people in your special place, a club president or the business's owners, were making jokes about that aspect of your identity. Maybe not even directed toward you, but in your presence. You could choose to stay, but you would be uncomfortable and not fully yourself. Or you might be in danger if you revealed that part of your identity in that space. So you stop hanging out in that place, lose some friendships, maybe even a hobby. Imagine something special given to you by a former partner, maybe a piece of jewelry. One morning at church you wear this item, and someone asks you about it. You respond that it was from your former partner and give their name. It happens that this name is clearly the opposite gender of your current partner. The person who asked you about the item gives you an odd look and says, "Oh, I guess you must have been pretty exciting back then," and walks away. You take off the item and never wear it to church again. Imagine a close friend that supported you through a tough part of your life. They think that you tell them everything, except you don't. You are hiding what feels like a massive part of your life. The thought of telling them is terrifying because not everyone is like you, and you think that you are the one who is different. If you share your experience in life with them, they could love and grow with you, but they could also distance themselves from you. You don't tell them because you are afraid of what might happen. Picture the person you currently love the most. You have been talking about this church you found, and you bring this person along one morning. After the service, someone comes up to you and your partner, who you know uses he, him pronouns. "What's her name?" they ask. "His name is," and you give their name. "Oh, she seems nice," and they walk away. Another member comes up and asks them, So are you a boy or a girl? Your partner walks away. You follow him out to the car, and your partner says they no longer want to return and they won't come with you to church again. Now imagine a person you will always be there for. Your love and care for them is truly unconditional. Imagine they come to you and share experiences like the ones mentioned, how they lost places and people they love because they aren't what people expect. You have the ability to help this person grow as a person, as well as yourself. By being actively welcoming to people, you can help them overcome what harm others may have done by excluding or othering them.
So now we'll move on to a meditation. Bring your eyes to close if you feel comfortable in doing so. Feel your seat connected to your chair, or feel the ground beneath you as your spine lengthens, your heart lifts slightly, and your shoulders soften down your back. And now just take a moment to notice the quality of your breath. Is it quick? Is it slow? Shallow? Deep? And where is it settled most in your body? Where do you feel it most? If it's in your chest, see if you can start to fill your low belly with your next breath in. And now as you begin to deepen your breath with your next inhale, feel the breath work its way from your low belly to your lower ribs, your upper ribs, filling the back and front of your heart space. And as you exhale, you'll feel this sense of kind of deflation from your chest, ribs, exhaling the air out all the way from the pit of the belly. So we just kind of keep this deep, intentional breath going. As we feel the energy of those around us, those here for this service today. Of course, we're here connected over the internet, but we can still be here together, creating this warm, welcoming space, this space that we know as Utica, a space for us to be ourselves, for us to be true to what we believe, to what we feel in our bones, a space for us to support one another in those beliefs. So feel into that for a moment. We all showed up today, right? We all are here, I think probably not just to learn or nourish ourselves only, but we all showed up because we care about our church community, we care about one another. So let's feel into that positive energy, into this particular moment of connection as we breathe together. And now let's turn inward for a moment. Tap into where you are today. Check in with yourself. How do you feel today? Mentally, physically, emotionally? And it's not necessarily the feeling that matters most, right? It's our response to that feeling. What are we going to do with these feelings today? How do we want to feel today? And now finally, let's feel into our truest sense of self. What are some of the parts of you that you value or identify with most? How do all of those parts of you that you value, how do all of those parts add up to become the essence of you? And as you think of these different things that you love about yourself or the different parts of yourself, do so without judgment, only acceptance, only love. Maybe something that you love the most about yourself is something that's changed over time. And isn't that a beautiful thing, right? That we all have this capacity to change, to grow, to evolve independently and together. But that growth doesn't change our truest sense of self, right? Doesn't change our essence. So we tap into these parts, into these identities, and they become our superpowers. So we not only can have gratitude for those pieces, those superpowers, but let's think together, how can we cultivate more of what we love most about ourselves and share them, share those pieces, those superpowers with the world? How can we use them for good? Let's take one more deep breath together, our deepest breath of the day, all together. Inhale. And exhale it out. And you can flutter your eyes open.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Good morning. My name is Julia Heller. I use they, them pronouns, and I am a member of this church and its inclusion team. We've talked a lot about identity today and how different parts of a person combine and intersect to make them who they are, and also to make other people and the world react to them in different ways. During our prelude, we saw photos of our church community as individuals and as parts of larger groups, celebrating the self, celebrating love, or celebrating Pride Month in different ways across different years and even different countries. In the Story for Together time, we heard how race, religion, citizenship, class, ability, age, gender, size, and skin color are all parts of who we are as individuals, and how we can all use our complex identities to take part in active allyship with our friends, family, and communities. Today's reading asked you to imagine scenes from the life of a person whose identity includes aspects our society thinks of as other or different. Our meditation brought you back into your body, yourself, your identity and breath. This is complex and complicated work, and most people spend their entire lives developing a more complete sense of who they are as a person. partly because parts of our identities shift and change. We react to new information and stimuli every day, and we grow along with each other and the world. Think about who you were last year. Think about who you were in February before the pandemic. Think of who you might be tomorrow. As we near the end of today's worship service, the inclusion team wants to recognize some of the work that has been and is being done to uplift and amplify voices who have historically been oppressed because of parts of their identities. Please note that our focus in this reflection is on LGBTQ+ and trans, genderqueer, and non-binary activism, specifically within Unitarian Universalism. But oppression like identity is intersectional, and truly inclusive activism must reckon with the systemic violence still leveled against Black, Indigenous, and people of color. I have it on really good authority that everyone loves bullet point timelines. So here are some important moments in the timeline of Unitarian Universalism's history with queer activism. And a brief note on the alphabet soup in these next slides. LGBTQIAP+ stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer or questioning, intersex, asexual, aromantic, agender, pansexual, and more, and refers to elements of sexual orientation and gender identity, and those individuals whose identity includes such elements. UUA stands for Unitarian Universalist Association, and refers to the central organization for the Unitarian Universalist, or UU, religious movement in the United States. So the timeline. And there's lots of further readings here, which we will also post links to in the chat, but very briefly. The first ordained minister of a major religious group in the US or Canada to come out as gay was the Reverend James Stoll, a UU minister in 1969. Several UUA resolutions supporting people regardless of sexual orientation have been published since 1970. The UUA LGBTQ Ministries Office was opened in 1973, originally as the Office of Gay Affairs. The first openly gay UU minister called to serve a congregation was the Reverend Douglas Morgan Strong in 1979, 10 years after Reverend Stoll, who was already ordained at the time, came out as gay. The UUA has been officially supporting UUA clergy performing services of union between same-sex couples since 1984. Unitarian Universalism was the first major denomination to accept openly transgender people as full members with eligibility to become clergy, and ordained their first openly transgender minister in 1988. The UUA's Welcoming Congregation program was established in 1989 to promote LGBTQ+ education and inclusion in congregations. And in 2002, the Reverend Sean Dennison became the first openly transgender person in the UU ministry to be called to serve a congregation at South Valley UU Society in Salt Lake City, Utah. So that means that there were 14 years after the UUA ordained its first openly transgender minister before an openly transgender minister was called to a congregation. And again, we'll go ahead and make those resources available in the chat, and let me know if you have other questions. Bringing us closer to home, UUUtica became a welcoming congregation in the late 90s and has recently reaffirmed commitment to that task. This photo is from after Carol and other members of our community put up our first pride flag before it was taken down, but I think this will be a good reminder that we can put it up, we'll put it up again, we'll keep working on that. And this summer, the UUUtica finance team has approved use of leadership training budget to purchase the Transforming Hearts Collective's Transgender Inclusion in Congregations online course. We're really excited about this. The inclusion team is planning to work with Reverend Aaron and other committees and task forces to make this material available to our congregation, and we hope it will help us learn how to create church spaces, groups, and activities that are fully inclusive and affirming of the full breadth of gender diversity. So work in queer activism has clearly been important to this congregation and continues to be important to this congregation. The inclusion team values and salutes the efforts that have been made and continue to be made. Utica was not the earliest welcoming congregation, but neither were we the latest. And the commitments of a welcoming congregation were not always upheld year to year, but we have new momentum in this task, even during a global pandemic. Inclusive and intersectional activism and change are a journey, not a destination, and we can always improve. And journeys can be exhausting, even important and exciting ones. So it's really important to remember that not just that we are in this work together, but that we aren't even building the future out of thin air. Intersectional activism is at the core of our UU community across the world and here in Utica. At UUU, we open our worship service every week with these words: whoever you are and whomever you love, you are welcome here. We are invited to bring our whole selves into this worship service. Every part of you is welcome here. In this congregation, we recognize that a person is made of so many parts, and that any or all of those parts may be enough for a person to be made unwelcome by society. And we decided it was important to us to unequivocally welcome all of a person every week. And even that did not come out of thin air. Our words of welcome draw directly from the same traditions and teachings of all Unitarian Universalism, which affirms and promotes these 7 principles. We affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person, every identity, every truth. We affirm and promote justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. In the words of our Together Time story today, we strive to be equal, but not all the same. In the words of artist Micah Bazant, there will be no pride for some of us without liberation for all of us. We affirm and promote acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. Growth is uncomfortable. It's even more important to do it anyway and to allow it to happen and to be part of it. Remember that you're not growing alone, and we are all here together. We affirm and promote a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. And this includes learning to listen to voices that don't sound like yours and taking on the work of educating yourself as an act of allyship. We affirm and promote the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large. That means speaking truth to power, speaking truth to loved ones, not backing down from doing what's right. We affirm and promote the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. The arc of the universe bends toward justice, and that's a journey we are all on together, all of us. And we affirm and promote respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Identity is intersectional, and we each contain multitudes, and together we form something that is great and complex. Intersectional activism is indelibly written into the foundation of our faith. Activism and allyship are part of the heartbeat of our congregation. Feel your own heart beat in your chest and know that your identity, complex and multifaceted, is welcomed, supported, and included here. Every part of you is welcome here. Our final hymn for today is number 121, We'll Build a Land. After the hymn, please join us in extinguishing our chalice. The words will be visible on the screen.
Captain
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again.
Hi, my name's Branwen Drew. I'm a member of the church board and also a member of the inclusion group. This is a poem I wrote last year, and it's about my experience. I look in the mirror, it's never too late. I see my real self, it's never too late. I am happy, it's never too late. The woman in the mirror smiles at me, it's never too late. I feel warm inside, it's never too late. It can seem like it takes too long, but it's never too late. I can't change the past. It's never too late to take control of the present. Think of the future. It's never too late. Thank you.
Dust in our eyes, our own boots kicked up. Heartsick we nurse along the way we picked up. You may not see it while it's sticking to your skin, but we're better off for all that we let in. Lost friends and loved ones much too young. So much promise and work left undone. All that guards us is a single center line, and the brutal crossing over when it's time. I don't know where it all begins, and I don't know where it all will end. Better off for all that we let in. One day those toughies will be withered up and bent. The Father, Son, the holy warriors, and the president. The glory days of put up dukes for all the world to see, beaten into submission in the name of the free. We're in an evolution, I have heard it said. Everyone's so busy now, but do we move ahead? Planets hurling and atoms splitting, in a sweater for your love you sit there knitting. Well, I don't know where it all begins, and I don't know where it all will end. Better off for all that we let in. You see those crosses at the side of the road, tied with ribbons to the median. They make me grateful I can call this mine. Lay me down tonight and wake me up again. Cat writes a poem and she sticks it on my truck. We don't believe in war and we don't believe in luck. Birds are calling to her, were they saying, as the gate blew open and the tops of the trees were swaying. I pass the cemetery, I walk my dog down there. I read the names in stone, I say a silent prayer. When I get home, you're cooking supper on the stove.